So hello, everyone, and welcome to our themed showcase and networking series, focusing on quality approaches to virtual mentoring. We have three organizations here today who are doing some really great quality virtual and e-mentoring across Canada that we're excited to share with you and have an opportunity for you to learn from and with them. Before I begin, I just wanted to acknowledge that the lands upon which we operate at Mentor Canada are the traditional territories of the respective First Nations, Métis Nations, and Inuit, who are the longtime stewards of these lands. And I also just wanted to give a quick shout out to a new course that Mentor Canada just launched last week called Cultivating Connection, Facilitating Attuned Mentoring. And we worked with two leading experts, Dr. Julia Price and Dr. Linda Gilkerson, to co-create and release this course. So it really was developed with experts, and we also worked with mentoring practitioners and professionals to make sure that everything would be practical and useful for people, working with youth. Attunement is defined as the capacity to support a mentee's needs by accurately reading their verbal and nonverbal cues and meeting them where they are. So it's a really great strategy for building trust and connection in mentoring relationships, which is something that, isn't the easiest to do sometimes. So this course is a really great resource for mentors or for staff or really anyone who interacts with young people and wants to develop deeper relationships. We have videos in there, we have interactive activities, and we use a lot of real-world case studies from mentors and staff who use and practice attunement in their everyday lives. So it is a really, really practical course. It's just 10 brief self-paced lessons, so they're about 15 to 20 minutes each. And you can pick it up and put it down, as you see fit. You don't have to complete the course all at one time, and you can jump to certain lessons that you find most interesting. As I said, it's applicable for mentors, staff, and other supportive adults. So it really does have wide applicability across the mentoring fields. And then finally, and perhaps most importantly, it is available at no cost for residents of Canada. And it's available in both English and French. And so you can access the course today. It's a really great free opportunity to provide your mentors with some additional training or upskilling or just ongoing training opportunities. You can scan the QR code, and I'll get my colleague Michelle to pop the link in the chat for you as well. Okay, so we have 4 items on the agenda today. I'm going to talk very briefly about the Mentoring Showcase series, what this event is and why we do it. I'll give a little bit of an introduction to virtual mentoring or e-mentoring and just kind of set the stage. And then I'll throw it over to our speakers today, and then we'll have some time for some Q&A. So if you have any questions throughout today's event, please just pop them into the chat, and we'll have some dedicated time to speak with our presenters at the end of today's presentations. So if this is your first time at a themed showcase and networking series, welcome. These events are really designed to celebrate the diverse mentoring programs and initiatives across our community of practice and across Canada. And basically, it is an opportunity for Mentor Canada to recognize and celebrate programs who are doing some really great quality programming, who are doing some really great mentoring opportunities for youth. And we invite them to come in and share how they structure and implement their mentoring programs and just how they approach mentorship. For the audience, it's an opportunity for you to discover potentially new partners and approaches to mentorship. So we really do encourage everyone to email the presenters afterwards or talk to them afterwards or ask them questions in the Q&A. We really want to kind of de-silo and build bridges across the mentoring field in Canada. Speakers are given limited slides to showcase their work. So it is kind of, they're each given 10 minutes. So it is a nice little snapshot summary of how they are doing quality mentoring in their particular community. And if you'd like to gain first access to all of these events and all of the learning that happens within the community of practice, if you're not already a member, you can scan the QR code or visit qualitymentoring.ca. It is the only national community of practice on mentoring in Canada, so we strongly encourage it and invite you to participate and join. All right, that brings me to today's focus, which is virtual or e-mentoring. So what is virtual mentoring? Of course, it's mentoring that takes place remotely in a virtual environment. It leverages messaging apps. So, iMessage, WhatsApp, email, forums, or messaging chats in an online e-mentoring platform, or video conferencing tools, right? Zoom, Teams, Google Hangouts, to connect mentors and mentees. It can be both synchronous and or asynchronous. So mentors and mentees can connect, directly in real time, like we're doing today, or they can connect kind of, I can send my mentee a message, they can read it and then respond to me when it's convenient for them. And there's typically 3 common approaches to virtual or e-mentoring that programs take. They can be completely virtual, all interactions are virtual and online. They can have a bit of a blend of virtual and some in-person. So, the majority is virtual, but they do have some in-person opportunities. And then virtual as a supplement to in-person. So they can be predominantly in-person and then use virtual opportunities for connection here and there. There are some key benefits and advantages of virtual mentoring, but also some key considerations and potential challenges. So some of the key benefits are, it can drastically reduce barriers to mentoring. We know from research that by meeting online, virtual or e-mentoring programs can help connect more caring mentors to youth, right? They might be living in a rural or remote community. They might have social anxiety. They might be experiencing a disability or a chronic illness. Or simply they might just not have access to someone in their community or social network who works in a career that they're interested in or has gone to post-secondary education, right? So one of the main benefits is reducing those kind of logistical and geographical barriers. Another benefit is, certain platforms and tools actually provide some really nice advanced safety and monitoring tools that can help promote participant safety. So, some tools can flag certain words that happen between mentors and mentees during their conversations, certain words that are said. And it just kind of provides more like content that mentoring practitioners can review, right? You have more opportunities to protect that safety of the youth and the mentor. And of course, it can also enhance scalability and growth of programming, right? By reducing those logistical and geographical barriers, you can potentially invite more people to participate in your program, offer more flexibility too for people to participate. Virtual mentoring also comes with some challenges, of course. The first is, the digital divide. So not everyone in Canada has access to technology, right? They might not have a phone or a computer or, reliable internet access to engage in these programs, right? Virtual mentoring can also sometimes require strong communication and digital literacy skills. So, in terms of digital literacy skills, people need to know how to use this technology, use the platform that you're using, navigate it effectively. So that can pose some challenges. And also, there's that lack of body language. We don't have that tone of voice. We need to have some level of reading comprehension. So those are kind of some challenges as well with virtual mentoring. And then finally, there's this challenge of maintaining engagement among mentors and mentees. Not all programs, but some programs do experience this. Right. So we need to be prepared to offer onboarding. How do we use this platform if we're using a particular platform? We might have to offer more technical support to the mentors and mentees. I can't read my mentees' messages, or I can't log on, things like that. But in general, virtual mentoring does offer some really great benefits and outcomes for youth, which include, less social isolation. So being able to, again, reduce and start to close those barriers to mentorship. Increased feelings of belonging and connectedness, so creating those meaningful mentoring opportunities for youth that might not have access to mentors in their local community or their school or their social network. Increased access to subject matter expertise. This can be really beneficial for youth who are interested in a particular career or dealing with a significant transition, aging out of the foster care system or attending post-secondary for the first time. they might not have someone in their community that can help them with those questions and those topics. Increase social supports and feelings of self-efficacy, so those mentors can help them, gain that knowledge and those skills to make those transitions or learn about a career that they're interested in or deal with, an issue that they're experiencing. And then, of course, we are increasing social capital and networks, and perhaps most importantly, just creating that safe or that safer space to share and process feelings. So just having that caring adult, that caring mentor in their lives to receive mentorship from. So that is a very, very quick snapshot of virtual or e-mentoring. If you'd like to learn more, Mentor Canada has a key topic overview and some research on e-mentoring. It's really wonderful, it's really well written, and it's short and concise. Or you can visit Mentor USA's e-mentoring supplement to the elements of effective practice for mentoring, which really goes through some of the research evidence for how we can structure mentoring, virtual mentoring programs in ways that are safe and effective. But without further ado, I will now introduce our speakers and our presenters, and then turn it over to them for their presentations. So we're going to hear first from Gabriela Ludusan, who is the coordinator of peer programs at Queen's University. And as the coordinator for peer programs at Queen's, Gabriela works collaboratively with colleagues across campus to support a variety of programs and services aimed at supporting transition, leadership development, and involvement through peer-to-peer support at Queen's. So welcome, Gabriela. Looking forward to your presentation. We'll then be hearing from Erica Keys, who is the program lead and mentee lead at Girls E-Mentorship. Erica specializes in empowering youth to overcome barriers and achieve success. With over 5 years of experience in mentorship and youth development, she currently serves as program lead at Girls E-Mentorship, where she manages large-scale initiatives that support self-identified high school girls facing socioeconomic barriers. Previously, she worked as the Gender Equity Program Coordinator for the Jay's Care Foundation, where she designed and implemented leadership and sports programs for thousands of girls across Canada. And Erica is passionate about leveraging her expertise to create impactful mentorship experiences that foster personal growth among young women. Welcome, Erica. And then we're going to hear from Elietra Samuel, who's a mentorship coordinator at BGC Ottawa. As the mentorship coordinator at BGC Ottawa, Elietra oversees the mentorship aspect of the Youth Futures program, a partnership with the City of Ottawa, and the Leaders for Life program, which is ran at multiple clubhouses across Ottawa. Previously, Elietra has worked with the University of Ottawa Students' Union to reestablish a mentoring program that connects university students with high school students. With 5 years of experience in the mentorship field, Elietra brings insightful innovation and passion for creative problem solving that places youth experiences and needs at the forefront. Welcome, Elietra. And then presenting alongside Elietra, or just here to support, I'm not quite sure, is Ayan Bu, who is the Diversity and Inclusion Specialist at the City of Ottawa. Ayan is a Diversity and Inclusion Specialist within the Equity team at the City of Ottawa, and she is deeply committed to advancing social justice and empowering youth, driven by her passion for fostering inclusive communities. So welcome, Ayan. So that is it for my end. At this point, I'll turn it over to you, Gabriela, and you can run us through your presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. Is my screen looking good? Okay. So my name is Gabriela Ludusan, and I work at Queen's University in Kingston in an office called the Student Experience Office, whose mission is to create engaging and inclusive opportunities for all students to support their transition in, through, and out of university, and to promote the personal growth. The Student Experience Office offers holistic programming and education And some examples of programs that come out of the Student Experience Office are orientation and transition, leadership programs, peer programs, student inclusion and engagement. Now, aligned with our mission around student-centeredness and creating opportunities for students to thrive and develop important skills for success, the Student Experience Office is also an important student employer on campus. And each of the portfolios that I just mentioned employs at least one student staff on a full-time basis throughout the summer and on a part-time basis throughout the academic year. So that is a total of 13 student staff just within our office. Now, part of my portfolio, I coordinate a first-year transition mentorship program called Q Success, where we help connect incoming students at the university with trained upper-year peer mentors for holistic support around transition into university. So things like academic skills, balancing the academic and social demands of university life, physical and mental well-being, and so on. Virtual mentoring has allowed us to connect students even before the start of the academic year. So our program cycle goes from July until the end of the academic year in April, with virtual mentoring throughout the summer, and then in-person, on-campus mentoring during the academic year. In terms of mentoring practices, I work based off of a structure and delivery model that includes a shared recruitment strategy with other peer programs on campus, where we have a shared campaign promoting a variety of student volunteer roles as opportunities for leadership and skill development that align with student skills and interests. Our mentor candidates go through a thorough interview process where we use real-life scenarios to assess their ability to assist any potential mentee and respond to relevant peer mentoring situations. And we do require any candidate that is being offered the mentor position to undergo a police check. When it comes to matching, one of the most valuable features of the e-mentoring platform that we currently use is self-matching. So more about that in the next slides, as well as manual matching, allowing administrators from the back end to send matching suggestions based on alignment of mentor and mentee needs or interests. We understand that it does take an introductory meeting before participants decide to formalize their mentorship. So we take a no fit, no problem approach to matching, allowing participants to end their relationship and self-rematch at any point throughout the program. We offer comprehensive training to our mentor team, consisting of topics that prepare them to support their mentees, and we work with a variety of campus partners to deliver this training. And in terms of support, we've created a tiered mentorship reporting structure with roles such as senior mentors and the student lead to be able to maintain robust support for a large team of mentors. A priority for me in these past few years has been to really maximize the benefits of the virtual mentoring platform. So I am going to offer you a walkthrough how I did that. So a central feature for a great start in the mentor program for our participants is the member's profile. Prompted by custom questions, we encourage participants to build strong profiles and share the qualities, the strengths, or the needs, if they are mentees, that would ensure that they can find or can be found by other participants with aligned interests. We've also built in confidential questions, such as self-identification, that are not publicly shared, that are very helpful for us to understand who we are serving and then adjust our processes. We then allow our participants to select their areas of interest so they can match accordingly. So these are all topics of interest that are relevant to the scope of our mentoring program, which is transition. Okay, so this is an example of the self-match filter. where students can select their preferences to look for a match based on their needs. So in this case, I'm looking for a mentor who's in health sciences and who can provide support in areas such as athletics, and let's say navigating campus. As a first-generation student, I select the areas that I'm interested in, and then I just search for a mentor. I will then get a list of potential mentors who match my search priorities. So in this case, I have a couple that fit my athletics and first-generation student criteria, and another two that only meet my athletics criteria. So I can then read more about these mentors by looking into their full profiles. So let's say I'm interested in this mentor, Emma. I'm gonna go to her profile. I click on her profile so I can learn more about her, after which I can decide to send her an invitation for an introductory meeting. Now, because strong member profiles are essential in ensuring strong matches, we've designed a step-by-step tutorial for mentors and another one for mentees on how to build their profiles, which we keep in the resources folder on the e-mentoring platform. We also make great use of the courses folder, where we keep mentor training materials. And all of the events that we plan for our participants, we then promote through the events feature. Here's a list of some of our past events with the ability to register in a very user-friendly way. We've also maximized the resources feature, where we store a variety of resources split into categories. So we have categories for mentees, resources for mentors, general resources, and then at the very top, you're able to see some important resources that we pinned for ease of access. And finally, a glimpse into the discussion feature, where we engage participants into a variety of topics relevant to the scope of our mentoring program. So again, we're looking at transition. So a couple of topics that we've engaged our students so far this year has been finding community at Queen's and self-care at Queen's. So that mentors can contribute their tips and advice in a more collective manner. As we know, mentoring is mostly a one-on-one endeavor. So we're using this feature as a way to bring our community together to share their contributions and have a collective conversation. So just to summarize, the key benefits of using the platform for our program is it really provides a centralized space for mentoring, right? So the e-mentoring platform is this space where all things mentoring are happening. And so our participants know that anything that's related to the mentor program, they can find in here. It has helped increase our ability to serve large participant numbers who also bring in complex needs and interests. It's a great opportunity to connect participants despite the geography, so better matching options for everyone. And central to the value that virtual mentoring brings for our program is the self-matching opportunity that really affirms the mentor and the mentee voice and choice in the matching process. And of course, increased administrative efficiencies. We wouldn't be able to support the large number of participants that we do without this platform. And as a way to visualize the impact of the e-mentoring platform in our program, here's a graphic that demonstrates a huge increase in participation since we started with Mentor City, which is the platform that we're using. So we started in 2020, and you can see our participation numbers were averaging 150 to 200 participants every year, while virtual mentoring has really helped spike engagement to around 1,000 participants every year. And to end my presentation, this is where you can find more about Key Success, our program, and that is where you can find my email as well if you'd like to connect with me. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Gabriella. That was wonderful. I know I have a few questions for you from that, but we will turn it over to Erica to present her slides. And for the audience, if you have any questions, please pop them into the chat. We'll have about 10 minutes at the end for discussion with the panelists. Erica, you have to 40 minutes after the hour to present. So.
Alrighty, welcome everyone. As you might know, my name is Erica and I work for Girls E-Mentorship. So GEM was created based off one centralized problem. So a group of individuals came together and they looked at the labor market. They wanted to know what 2030 is going to look like in the labor market. So we decided that there's 5 principles that we need to reimagine and we think is going to shift within 2023. So we think the labor market is going to encapsulate lifelong learning, having mandatory workplace creativity, education is going to be reimagined, a rebalancing of gender equity, and a feeling of both levels of connectivity on one side, but also high feelings of loneliness. So that's some of the things we wanted to address. So our idea was our peer-to-peer mentorship model. So it focuses on 5 core principles. So the first one is leadership development. We want individuals to feel connected, supported, and validated. We want to help individuals develop and achieve goals. We focus a lot on professional development, and we really want to have an open feedback model. So we are a research-based organization. So we really pride ourselves on having research and validation and statistics and thoughts behind everything that we do. So we believe this model will help those 2030 goals. So along came us in 2012. So we've only been an organization for around 10 years operational. It took us a few years to kind of think about our ideas and concepts. So GEM was created by our founder, Rochelle Gossman-Jackman, and it was created with high school girls, educators, social workers, and policy experts. And we use design thinking methodology with diverse stakeholders to create a program designed by girls for girls that is aimed at reducing barriers and supporting youth through critical transitions into adulthood. We also follow 6 core pillars. So everything that we do is related to one of our core pillars. So we want to reduce systemic barriers, improve academic opportunities, improve career guidance, improve self-confidence, enrich social capital, and improve financial opportunities. So what we do is we offer a 9-month evidence-based mentorship program for high school girls in grades 9 to 12 in the GTA and recently Hamilton. We started with 25 self-identified girls, and now we serve over 260. And a lot of that is because of virtual mentorship. We can expand our reach, expand our mentors. So some of the things we do, we offer one-on-one mentorship. GEM also offers scholarships. So we have around $100,000 every single year awarded in scholarships. We also host professional workshops. We call them Geminars, but they're just seminars with the word GEM in front of them. We also host corporate tours, networking events. We have a diverse opportunity of internships, and we also have a self-paced curriculum. So we're female-focused, community-focused. We really want to touch on experiential learning and professional development. So what is our approach to mentorship? So our program follows similar to the school year. It starts in September and it ends till May. Our pairs meet monthly and communicate once a week. They also follow the GEM toolkit, which is based on social and emotional learning principles. Our recruitment is a 3-step application process. So first, either if you're a mentor or if you're a mentee, you have to apply. Our applications are a bit extensive, we're quite long, but we want to create as much information and knowledge about you, what you're looking for, how you can support. And then we do asynchronous interviews. So we use the Kira platform. So all individuals who make it through the first round go to our second round, and that's our interview stage. And then after that, we do a matching questionnaire, and any mentors or mentees who we can support move on to the final stage. So we currently accept 280 into the program, but we'll have anywhere from 700 to 800 applications per year. We're really lucky that we have a fantastic group of mentors. So over 40% of our mentors return yearly. Our other recruitment is typically just through word of mouth. We do a lot of challenges, and we also are really lucky to have core partners. So we'll go to Google, Sephora, RBC, Sick Kids, and we'll do recruitment through there. All of our mentors do have to submit a vulnerable sector check. And our program starts with a mandatory orientation that's hosted on Zoom. We do 1 hour to walk through Mentor City, how that looks, how to set up your profile. We also have a workbook that they work through, and then we also just talk about the program. We also have a training series. So there's about 5 to 6 training videos for mentors and mentees. We also have handbooks, and also our mentors are put into community pods on Mentor City. So we found that matching mentors with returning mentors really helps them get accustomed to the mentorship model, learn, and just get advice. So it's we're mentoring both ways. We also do a lot of monitoring. We have a dedicated research lead on our team. So we really use Mentor City for a lot of our monitoring and statistics. It's an incredible platform to tell you a lot of knowledge about the mentorship pairs. But alongside that, we host monthly check-in surveys. These are anonymous for our members to report how they're doing, if they need support, especially when you're pairing mentors with 5+ years, a lot of experience. Some of our younger individuals have a little bit of time, a little bit nervous to kind of talk about that. So we do these anonymous surveys to help with that issue. So at GEM, we do hand match because we have such an extensive criteria and things that we do. We have a detailed rubric and scoring system just to ensure we have a seamless process and really good matches. So some of the things we focus on are career and field of interest, post-secondary institution and knowledge. For example, if you're in grade 12 and your mentor rates themselves 100%, they know a lot about university, will match you. However, if we have a mentor who's like, I've never been in university for 15 years, we'll probably match them with someone who's in grade 9 or 10. We also match on shared identity and experiences, personality, and shared interests. So with our monitoring and support, again, we do those monthly check-in surveys. We also, on Mentor City, it can see when they're meeting. So what date were their meetings? When were they meeting? When they're last on Mentor City, which is extremely helpful for us because if a mentor hasn't heard from them, they haven't touched the platform in 1 or 2 months, we know that's something we might need to check in on. Mentors and mentees also leave detailed feedback every single meeting. So we feel like we know what's happening. We can really check in with them, see what pairs are having good conversations. Majority of our pairs meet on the Mentor City platform, but some of them will do Zoom. We are a hybrid program, so they can choose if they want to meet in person. However, the amazingness and the help with virtual mentorship is we've increased our reach. So a lot of the times you only accept mentees if we have the mentors. So our mentors actually come from all across Canada. So we're able to connect someone who maybe lives in Ottawa, who lives in British Columbia, with someone who lives in Toronto, and it's really expanded our reach, which is fantastic. We also host mentor lunch and learns. So we have topics like social and emotional learning, intergenerational bias, and things like that to help and support our mentors. And in May, we host a closing celebration. This is also where we award our scholarships, is in partner with RBC. That is also a hybrid event. So youth can come in person, or they can also join online, which is actually really incredible. Obviously, transportation is a barrier. Saturday mornings are hosted, so some of our youth have to work. So being able to host hybrid events has been really powerful for us because we don't want anyone to miss out if they're in person, and that's an issue we're facing. We also want to have a little bit of connection through in-person. So we've really been trying to really put our stand on the hybrid approach. And then also we have an extensive alumni network. So once they finish GEM, they get access to our alumni programming, which has their own internships, has their own mentorship model that we're currently working on. We've started our investment to our alumni network 2 years ago. So we're still working on that. So where do we use Mentor City in terms of virtual mentorship? So Mentor City is our key information house. So everything that we do through GEM is stored on Mentor City. As you can see beforehand, we also use the event features. All of our events are hosted there. We have tons of resources. We put all of our video recordings, all of our handbooks, Also, our GEM curriculum is housed there, which is absolutely incredible because it makes it super accessible, because we can't really ship them over 200 pages of curriculum. So it's really nice to have something virtual. We also have training videos there and much more. So we really use Mentor City from the second they get onboarded. So they start the first week of September, and that starts with their orientation. Again, we spent 1 hour going through Mentor City. We give them their accounts right before orientation, so they have some time to navigate the program. We all sit online together and create our profiles together. We found that when staff are sharing their screen and going through slide by slide and criteria by criteria, it really helps them create really diverse and really good profiles. We also support them with taking their headshots. So we'll have an event where mentees can come and take their headshots for the platform. So they're really creating a really strong first impression with their mentors. So they get zero information on who their mentor is until they log on to Mentor City. So that first kind of meet and greet is through Mentor City. So it really ensures that they're using the platform from the start. So they get to know all about their mentor, what their job is, what their contact is. So we really found that housing that information until Mentor City also really encourages them to use the platform. Again, we use our community pods, and that really helps our new and returning mentors. We have mentors who've been with us for 6 years, 7 years, and we have mentors who've just been with us for 1 year. So it really provides a great space for them to share information, get to know each other, and they can navigate the program together because sometimes they're their biggest teachers. Again, tracking, we could not stress enough how much we use Mentor City to track things. So all of our toolkits, all of our curriculum is submitted through Mentor City. We really rely on seeing when they last logged on, how much of their information is uploaded. Are they going on monthly calls? Are they meeting frequently? How is the quality? So it really allows both the mentee and mentor to put a really honest opinion on how their mentorship is going. And it really produces some really great statistics. So I know for myself, this year we just launched our new curriculum, and we're going to be able to see what curriculum was viewed the most, which one was interacted with the most, because there's 7 different buckets. So we're really going to be relying on the information that Mentor City provides us. As Michelle knows, I use her so often for support. So Mentor Canada is always able to help us with whatever we need, whatever question. If there's something we have an idea of, they're like, okay, let's go. We're going to get this done. So we found that really nice and uplifting to have that support 24/7, not only for ourselves, but for everyone in our cohort and organization. So what are some impact and key insights we've learned through virtual programming or hybrid? The first thing is community. Through COVID, social isolation, connecting them is the best thing that we can do. So those mentor pods are really great. And it really just creates this like-minded sense of community. We also want to create community through big community scales and small. So whenever we do events, we sometimes have 600 people on screen. So for a lot of our youth, that can be really overwhelming. So we really make sure that throughout the years, we have big scale events, but we also have events with 20 people, 10 people. We have career panels that really expose them to different jobs and careers, not just their mentors. Feedback. We love feedback as a research-based organization, but we also really rely on our mentees and our mentors. So every year we have focus groups, and we pull a lot of that mentorship agreement. Once they finish their mentors, they can actually fill out a form that says how their mentorship went. That also provides a lot of insight. There's so many times where I could tell you I've tried something, I'm like, I know what they need, but I'm actually so wrong. I haven't been a teenager for a long time, and I also haven't been a mentor in a very long time. So it's really nice to see it from their perspective. Next is adaptability. So we found that we always work with grade 10s and 12s. That's never going to change, but every single year we found that every cohort is different. We have different personalities, we have different levels of engagement. We need to meet them while they are. While our program core is the same, we can adapt and be okay. So for some years, we'll have more grade 9s and 10s, And maybe we'll just have to shift our focus. They don't have their resumes yet. They don't have their covers letters yet. So let's do some soft skills this year. Or this year we have so many grade 11s and 12s. We really dived into finding post-secondary institutions to come help us to run sessions, seminars. We're really doing a lot of things on banking and investment. So every year you have to be adaptable. And I also find being virtual helps us so much. It's so much easier to put together a 500-person event on Zoom, meet their needs, and then do a 500 event in person. So we really love the adaptability. Last but not least is value. So we did a survey last year and we found out something that really shocked us. So we just switched to the hybrid virtual model around 4 years ago. And this year we found that 90% of our mentees feel valued and heard by their mentors. However, only 64% of mentors feel appreciated by their mentees. And there's a lot of things to that. Because it's virtual, you may find that you're not getting the biggest expression or you're not seeing it in their face. It's hard to communicate language, and which is really great because Mentor City just has a session on that. We found that it's really hard for mentors sometimes to pick up on what they're doing because they're not going to type it through the Zoom chat. They're not going to be able to, all the time to send an email. So we're really trying to teach our mentees to help our mentors feel really valued, because obviously the statistic shows they feel their value, they know their mentors are helping, but also their mentors don't always see it. So we built a toolkit or curriculum around it. And if you're doing virtual, I think it's something that really have to keep in mind that it doesn't come always easily and it doesn't translate right away. And also we rely so much on our mentors coming back every single year. So it's something that we thought was really interesting, and anyone else running a virtual program, it might be a good thing to run in your research reports. So I pulled a few statistics here from our programming. So 87% of girls agree or strongly agree that they gained knowledge and skills, and 81% of them help say they feel more prepared for high school compared to the beginning of the program. But that is it for me. There is a QR code if you want to go to our website. I do think I want to find out how to do a QR code with a dinosaur. That was actually much better than this one. I really love that. But my email is just my name, Erica@Girls eMentorship. Feel free to connect. And I'm here if you have any questions. And thank you again for having me.
Thanks, Erica, for that little Geminar of our own. We'll turn it over to Elietra and Ayan. You'll have about 53 minutes past the hour.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for having us. I'm going to be speaking about the Youth Futures program. And so Youth Futures has actually been around for about 17 years. It was created by two University of Ottawa professors as a pilot program, and it started with just about 25 students, and now we accept about 150 students each year. And really our mission for the Futures program is that we support high school students between the ages of 16 to 21, and we help them build important skills in preparation for post-secondary education, employment, and our program is offered in is bilingual in English and French. We offer the advanced leadership training, mentorship, and post-secondary orientation, so exposure to post-secondary, and all of our program is free of cost. I'm going to go to the next slide, Elietra. Our program model really focuses on leadership. The Youth Future program really runs in a partnership collaborative model. It's funded through the City of Ottawa, but we work in different departments within the City of Ottawa. For example, the leadership component of the program, it's funded through Recreation, Culture, and Facility, and it's a specific certification program. So the youth receive first aid and CPR, and then also training in soft skills like communication. What type of leader are you? We also are partnered with all the colleges and universities in Ottawa, so Algonquin, La Cité, University of Ottawa, St. Paul's, and Carleton. And the employment component of our program is 2 sections. So we have the employment training, which is we work with employment social services within the city of Ottawa. So all of our youth receive resume writing, interview preparation, job retention training. And at the end of the program, they all receive a 6-week paid placement. And what's really neat about our program is we have a wide variety of employment opportunities. Some of the jobs that we have, for example, City of Ottawa, we have around 65 jobs, so like bylaw, auto public health. We also have some opportunities with federal governments, community centers. So really just to kind of highlight some of the opportunities that our youth would get would be opportunities that sometimes you need university or college degrees for. So they provide those employment, as well as the mentorship piece, which is run in partnership with BGC Ottawa. And we'll be discussing that a little bit more with my colleague Ilyatra. So I touched on the pre-employment workshop, but pretty much our program also runs every Saturday from February all the way to June. So our youth do have to commit. We will be talking about the pre-screening piece of the program in the slides coming up, but the youth beforehand have to commit to Saturdays. We run from 9:30 till about 12:30. We actually used to start at 9, but we shifted just to accommodate youth in those early mornings, and the attendance rate has done a lot better with that.
Yeah, so I can definitely take over and talk about our approach to mentoring. So as Ayan stated before, Youth Futures is a very collaborative program. So BGC oversees the mentoring, hiring, and the management of that. And in terms of the skills and requirements to be a mentor with us, as it is a paid position, they all do have to be in post-secondary in a post-secondary institution within Ottawa. And every single mentor do have an interview with us, and they do have to have a vulnerable sector check in order to be a mentor. In terms of who we choose to get mentor, that is dependent on the experiences that they bring to the team, as well as their ability to work with youth in a multitude of youth. As something that probably was not mentioned before is that with our mentoring structure, we do not do a one-on-one mentoring type of style. We offer a group mentorship, which is something very different than what I'm hearing with everyone else. So for us, one mentor oversees 15 to 16 youth, and that is their mentor group. So that is their group, and but each mentor works in a pair. So there's a mentor pair, 2 mentors, they each have 2 groups. And so immediately the youth are put into a little pod of community within the bigger program, where they are exposed to 30 other youth, and they all work together throughout the 6 months that the program runs, to accomplish all their goals and develop together and everything. So the hiring of mentors happens with BGC Ottawa, and that is something that I oversee. So I oversee the hiring of mentors, and I oversee mentor skill management, training, and so on and so forth throughout the entire process. Like I said, so the mentoring begins in fall and starts in January. It is advertised to the BGC Ottawa employees, as well as alumni of the program. Either if you were a mentor before, or if you've done the program before, we try to maintain an alumni network with every single one of our program graduates. I think we have quite a number of program graduates, and they're all in various different fields, and some of them may be recent graduates who are in post-secondary, and so they all would love to give back to the program, and so they apply to be a mentor to come back and give back. So in this picture over here, I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, almost half of them were youth in our program once, and they went to post-secondary education. They decided to come back. Youth recruitment, we also recruit youth, and kind of similarly to GEM, youth do have an application process. So the youth, there is an application that that goes live in November. So our applications are live and they're advertised to youth in the city of Ottawa. So we do recruitment within schools, within our organizations. Every single organization that we partner with also informs the youth of what's going on to get them to apply to the program. After the application process, then it becomes a interview process where the youth have to interview to get into the program. And we do this to really screen a couple of things. We are a program which we do look for youth in lower income neighborhoods who may not have access to many things or may not have been to post-secondary education before. And so those are our demographics. And so we do a lot of screening in order to make sure that the youth we are targeting are the youth that are coming into our program. And so the application goes live and there's a whole recruitment process to that. And the youth that get in, we try our best to make sure that it fits the demographic in which we are trying to serve. In terms of the training practices for effective mentoring, so the mentors go through an extensive training process just because we realize and we recognize that with 150 youth all coming from a multitude of different places. Cultures are different, needs are different. Some of them are just landed immigrants, some of them are refugees, some of them have fled war. And so we need to be able to train our mentors in order for them to be giving us a good mentorship to the youth. And so originally we do 2 full day sessions of training, one exclusively with mentors and one with ALP facilitators, so those who conduct ALP trainings on Saturdays. However, this year we're thinking of adding an extra day, so just so we can add more stuff into it. And the trainings that we cover is our program overview and policies. We go through active listening, effective communication, conflict resolution and problem solving, building trust and rapport with youth, setting and enforcing boundaries, cultural competency and diversity awareness, goal setting and action planning with mentees, mental health awareness and support, time management and organization skills, administrative skills, and behavioral management. Really, the goal of all of this training is to build mentorship skills, instill program values and confidence, and to prepare mentors for guiding and supporting youth effectively. We believe if the mentor is ready to take on anything, that they are able to better support the youth that are coming in who will most likely need that. In terms of how we pair up mentor and mentee and how we do group mentorship, it really is dependent on what is needed for the program and what the youth need. But one thing for sure is each mentor is assigned 15 to 16 youths. This does not mean that every single time they want to have a meeting with an individual youth that they have to do in a group. No, they can definitely have pulled youths here and there. And essentially, it is the mentor's role to keep track of all their youth and to assure that they grow well in a group as well as individually. So groups are formed to match language preferences as we are a bilingual program, as well as the program needs. So there tends to be English groups, a bilingual group, and French groups. And we are a hybrid program, but I would say we are more of an in-person program that uses Mentor City and the virtual aspects as a supplement to even better the program itself. And so what this means is that mentors have regular contact. They have to have regular contact with the youth just because, as we mentioned at the beginning, there are so many different moving parts of the program. And so the mentor has to be there and available to provide support to the youth in whatever part that they are struggling in. And so the mentors are there constantly. And they meet in person and as well as virtually, synchronously, and asynchronously. And then the mentor is really there to make sure that the youth may be able to graduate at the end of the program, that they are able to do their summer job placements and that their summer job placements go well as they're the first point of contact between the youth and the employers. And that for the youth who want to get a co-op credit through us, that they do also get the co-op credit and they do their homework that is meant for them as well. And all the pictures here are youth or past mentors who have attended the program themselves. So in terms of we focus in groups, creating groups. So we look at language fluency. So we look at which school board the youth are going to. If they go to an English school board, they're paired in the English group. If they go to a French school board, they're paired in a French group. Then we look at any conflicts of interest. Are the youth going in? Do they have siblings in going into the program as well? If they do have siblings, we try to separate the siblings as much as possible. If we feel like that is beneficial, just so they have their own individual experiences outside of their siblings. There are times which we do meet the mentees during the interview, and we note down or pick up that they would be better to be kept together, and so we make sure to keep those siblings together. Other conflicts of interest is if a mentor knows a youth, either if they're related, family, friends, or whatnot. We do not put those together, as there are different aspects of the program that there may be an advantage of knowing the mentor personally, that we want to get rid of any conflict of interest. We look at the mentor's age and experiences. All our mentors are in post-secondary institutions, but we try to make sure that there is enough of age gap per se, just so that the level of respect is there. And then we look at gender balances, and we look at the individual youth needs. As I mentioned, some youth need different things, and so we understand that some mentors have different skill sets, so we make sure to put that individual in that group and then work around the group to make sure that it benefits every single person that is in the group. Now, in terms of virtual mentoring and how we use it, why we use it, we just found that it was very necessary. As a program that is mostly in person, we had to use a lot of emails and text messages, which get lost. They're not sent on time. There is no reminder. And so we're really looking for something that alleviates a lot of manpower, and that can be really autonomous, but also worthwhile. As well as there was a lot of things happening, word of mouth. And so we wanted a place where we can put everything and it's easy to find, and that at any point in time, if a youth needed to go through it and navigate it, we'll be able to let them know, oh, did you check Mentor City? It's right there. Let's go figure it out. So it does increase accessibility and flexibility. Something that we noted is that while many of our youth have phones, they do not have access to Wi-Fi unless they're at home or at school. And so having this platform really makes it so that they are connected some way, some forth. And in terms of flexibility, it makes it so that, yes, they do have to attend Saturday programming, but throughout the week, they can connect with their mentors at a click of a button. And that is something that we really stress, and I'll kind of talk about it later, well, really here, but we stress that all mentees and mentors have to download the app on their devices. It is a standard step in our onboarding process for all participants in our program, just because that makes it so that they are very easily accessible. And that has helped us tremendously in terms of communication and making sure that everything is going correct. So in terms of onboarding the platform to our participants and mentors, we do have detailed sessions for the mentors weeks before the program starts. So during their mentor training, we do tell them to open up the platform, make an account. We're there with them, doing it with them. And then we navigate the entire platform with them a couple of times. So we do, yes, so we do, yes, we do navigate with them. So we make sure that they set their calendars and availability is correct. They know how to navigate going from individual mentoring and finding profile to group mentoring and finding profile. And we automatically create groups for their own mentor pair, so that they know that that is where they need to go and communicate. And we run them through the entire thing. We also acknowledge the platform, and that we state that it is a mandatory application that we'll be using throughout the program, and that mentors and mentees need to have it in order to successfully complete the program. And this is done at our launch night, which includes the parents as well. So the parents are also aware that that is a mandatory component of the program. Afterwards, we sent an email to all the mentees with very detailed instructions, with pictures, emojis, and links to download both the application, Mentor City app, as well as links to the platform. And we asked them to create a profile. And then at the very first meeting we have with them online, we have with them in person, we do an interactive run through with the program. And we make sure that they go in, they're able to go in, they're able to find their mentor, they're able to find their groups. We ask them to send a message to the group so they know how to navigate that. And in terms of making engagement, we also let them know that anytime communication has gone out, it is their job to let us know that they have seen it so that they know about it. And so, or they can just click the little like button just to let us know that, yeah, they've seen it and we're all good, we're all happy. What really helped is the user-friendly step-by-step manuals that were there. Helped me tremendously, helped the team tremendously. Our mentors used it as well. If they needed something, to just go to their step-by-step and follow it, as well as some of the video tutorials that were available. And as Erica mentioned, Michelle was really, really helpful for us, being there with us and helping us with our tech support and everything. And it really helped that there was one dedicated person, myself, who was really knowledgeable in the application and the platform, and I was there to act as IT for anybody who needed it. And if I missed something, the IT support team was able to flag it down and let me know. And in terms of the benefits for the Youth Futures mentorship itself, is we are very personalized. It may not seem that way because we go about it as a group mentorship. However, we really tailor everything of our program to the needs of the youth that come in. And so we do this by really, it's the building rapport and the fact that we are more in person. So we really don't have to worry about what am I missing, what am I not missing, but really we can see what you're saying, we can see what you're not saying, we can see your body language. But because also we are very connected to our community partners, we have an abundance of resources and abundance of partners who would, a drop of a hat, be willing and welcoming to do as much as they can for our youths, which is really great because we do have a number of youth who are facing homelessness and food insecurity, but we also have a bunch of partners in that department that are able to help us secure housing or secure food for those youth that are in our program. And they're still able to go through our program, and we're still able to make sure that they complete their high school diploma, that they are exposed to post-secondary institutions through our partnerships with the schools, and that they do get a job they are job ready, and that they have a resume, so that after they leave our program, they have everything that they need to go past it. And we also got some feedback that our youth actually keep in contact with their past mentors, and the mentors themselves still connect with the youth, and they go through that and they build that community still outside and past our program. Um, we are also very community-based, so community engagement is huge. We feel like we equip our youth to have that community presence, and our alumni network is also really beneficial for it. If there is anything that I would suggest for the virtual mentoring programs, if anyone wants to make them outside of everything that was already said, is really to make it a one-stop shop. Everything that is needed should be on that platform to make it easy and accessible and easy to find and easy to navigate. Another thing is I would recommend making it a mandatory thing, that it is mandatory for it to be in the program. And it is mandatory, and the expectation is that you would be communicating back whenever a communication is out. And then we use the dashboard quite frequently for announcements and reminders. So anytime something was going up, we knew that our youth wouldn't open up really text messages or emails, but whenever they did, we did ask them to check to go in and check their Mentor City. We did know that one thing they paid attention to was the dashboard. So we made sure that everything important was on the dashboard at all times, so that it's just really easy to navigate and go through that. But yeah, thank you for having us here and to talk about our program and kind of what we use the platform for. You can connect with us by searching up Youth Futures Ottawa and going to our website, as well as our Twitter and Instagram if you want to follow us, give back, contact us, get more information, and so on and so forth.
Thanks, Elietra and Ayan, and to all of our presenters today. Everyone, I realize we are past the hour mark, so if you have to run, please feel free. We'll be sharing the recording and the slides with everyone. Presenters, are you okay if we field some questions from the audience? Can you stay on for 5 minutes if we have questions? Okay, anyone, if you have questions, please feel free to come off mute or put them in the chat for our presenters.
I actually have a question for Erica, if that's okay. I was going to ask, how do you get your mentees engaged in completing the surveys? Are there like incentives, or yeah, how do you get them to do the survey? Yeah.
Great question, because getting teenagers to do lengthy surveys is a little bit difficult. Because we have our scholarship program, we really do use it as an incentive. So when we do our scholarships, it is a part of the marks they get. So if they miss a survey, it's a deduction, and a lot of them do really benefit from those scholarships. So we use that, and then we just use my annoyingness to message them 8,000 times.
Great, thank you very much. We're very familiar with the reminders. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think if there's no other questions, we can bring the event to a close. Again, thank you for all of our presenters who came and shared their knowledge with us today. This was very enlightening, and everyone, please have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.